The info is right here at this table with Brian, so if you wanna, if you want the benefit of that before you go to the other activities, that's great.
Ready, Chrissy?
Oh,
Yeah. So we hope folks will have a chance to stop at all the stations, chat with the staff and trustees, fill up all of those index cards to let people, to let the trustees and the staff know what it is you're hoping to see in these facilities upgrades. Stop by the story map and talk a little bit about some of the places in the village that are special to you. And just have a chance to visit with your neighbors. It's a cold day. We can all use a little cheer and neighborly. All right, you ready?
Chrissy, are we ready?
I'm still trying to log into Facebook. I logged into Facebook and it didn't remember me, so.
Okay.
Is that a requirement or can we kick it off and they'll get the idea? It's not like they're gonna mess up.
Yeah, go ahead, but I have to do roll call, so.
Welcome, everyone. This is a meeting of the Village of Shorewood Fields, a special facilities workshop. Today is Saturday, December 13th. It's 8:32 in the morning. Let's call the meeting to order. Chrissy, would you like to do the roll call?
John Imes,
Good.
Carol Barford,
Here.
Dietmar Basuner,
Present.
Mark Letter,
Here.
Shabnam Lutfi,
Here.
and Kate Olsvik.
Here.
Bob had excused absence.
But he's here.
Bob,
I know I'm not always here, but.
oh, I thought you declined. Okay, I'm sorry, Bob. I didn't see you and I saw you had declined. Okay, we're all here.
All right. Item 3, approval of the workshop agenda. Can I have a motion? Thank you, Bob. Second. Thank you, Carol. All those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. That motion is approved. Item 4, statement of public notice. Just want to confirm that the meeting was properly noticed. Brian, Christie.
Yes, it was properly posted.
And then item 5, village facilities workshop, facilitated by Allison. And so Allison, any final remarks or suggestions on what folks should do next?
I think Carol gave you all a great orientation, and like I said, we hope you'll stop by all the stations, visit with your neighbors, and thank you all for being part of the government. Anything else, John, before we?
No,
All right,
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So there are these index cards.
Yeah.
And so residents and trustees, or just residents, with little comments, their thoughts on an index card, it takes its spot. And then afterwards, do they stay or do people go?
Oh, great question. Yes. So this workshop will be in 2 parts. There will be the asynchronous part where residents or trustees in their capacity as residents will offer comments on index cards. Fill up as many index cards as you want. We have lots more paper if you need more paper. And then the second half, so at 10:45, we'll take a break from that part. And then the trustees with guidance for, right, will have the chance for input from staff, but the trustees will have an opportunity to sort of look at what's in the room, to discuss it, and residents are welcome to stay and observe. If folks want to come and go in 15 minutes, they can, or if folks want to stay to the end at 12:30 and, you know, walk out with one donut in each hand, they're welcome to do that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Awesome. Other question. All right, are we
One more
ready?
question.
Yeah.
Do you get one index card per station or you can have multiple?
Yeah, as many as you want. Go to town.
And sign in if you haven't already.
Yes, sign in, get a name tag. If you're trustee or staff, maybe label it on your name tag. Maybe everybody knows that, but just in case. Other questions? Awesome, all right. Let the games begin. Thank you, Dr. This is great. You can everything I do.
I think I've just seen so many bad experiences where I'm like,
Yeah.
No, right,
no,
right.
no, no.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, right?
What do you mean I can only have one index card? I don't think that's gonna be.
Take a photo of it?
I just come clean that I heard your question. Which question was, what do you mean, like, or well, okay, that's like, this is. Yeah.
So tell me about innovation.
Yeah, absolutely.
For kids.
I know, right? Why not get directions from the people that have their coffee? I'll just get watch that out. Yeah. Yeah, so residents are welcome, like, you can stay for this whole part, you can breeze through and go. But at 11, from 11 to 12:30, the trustees will be discussing it aloud and get back to the citizen. You have to stay for that. You don't have to. No worries.
So what are you hearing from residents?
Well, you know, so I don't know yet.
Also nothing ahead of.
Yeah.
That you're hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard me say, we've got some space.
Let's do it.
First floor, 3,000.
Yeah.
And the transition outside to the south side is totally not used. The ADA thing is all. So it's kind of. And then engine, transformer box.
Oh, yeah.
He's there. It was like it's the summer, summer. Something they should. Resident.
Next budget. Your turn.
Yeah.
So specifically, what location? But I also feedback on locations. Yeah, we have it stay in the pool. We have it run away, or we have new location entirely, which list out here. So yeah, so if you have a either way, you can put a dot as like a vote on one of these.
Yeah, there you
This is.
Okay.
Location question, so. There's someone who has a lot of questions about pool, I may send them your way.
Okay, I'll hover from over here so I'm not sitting in front of the camera.
And full committees, we should rebuild it.
I think it's kind of like.
What happened?
Just like rebuild the pool building, but like, yeah, I think the question is like, can we sell this for that basement? Or do, you know, like, is it total, like, 100%? Or is it like, use the foundation and rebuild
Yeah,
there? So that's kind of the question, I think.
yeah,
We need a-
I think like, I think we did talk about like.
Right.
So to speak. But then I've seen other schools like Crescent, like right now.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have separate buildings. Smaller. Just like that, but you know. So I don't know, you know, it's not like, I mean, obviously a basement flood more than ground level, but it's still a flood. If it were to.
Right.
But I actually have nobody. Or that's not, I should. You still. Maybe.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, cause I think there's some part of it, like, you know, like the tanks for like concrete aspect probably outside, right? But then the stuff inside.
It's pretty expensive too, because usually, when I looked at the plan, it's been a while. But $30,000.
we had some sort of discussion about, what we need. And it was kind of a balance of, yeah, you could probably reuse some stuff is for like Disney. And then there's some stuff where you want to feel and then read it. It's crazy how a lot of stuff, like, it's like, oh, boilers from 2019, 2018 or whatever, but they're already like completely different.
Park Crest, are they pulling out, putting it down and redoing it?
Yes, they're doing it in phases, so there's they're fundraising, but they're doing the pools right now. And then the new, like, chemical building, and then separately another phase, they're doing the buildings.
That they budgeted all out.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Our pools.
They're doing all city. They have all city ditches. So they're doing, right after they close this year, they pour out the full pool and
When we talk about, right, like, you can look, but it's, there's energy efficiency. But you want to do it, right?
Poor Allison, I just.
Don't write it, but I really want you to write it down because that's something that's reflected. So, grab an index card, write it down.
I can't.
Oh, or cable ready. Yeah, or I just write it down.
As I just said, Allison, I am personally.
It's a workshop.
So I'm just saying. We've done that so many
Are you living for any? I was just feeling.
Renting the community that there's some people out there. And so we're just reaching the rest of it.
It's my own fault, but the photos and it's like right after they redid the Lancet.
Combine this. And then this one over here is. So right now, the second floor. I love that. Yeah.
Feel like. That's not the school, so if you're looking for the time to read.
Yeah.
That's my. Also. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's where we built this. That's just a rough focus.
So hello everyone. So are you staffing?
Nothing, but just being helpful and intermediate.
I would like historical membership rates.
Oh, yes.
So I saw the this past week that I saw retroactive to late, that it was dealing with membership rates. And it was membership rates for residents and non-residents, but I would like historical residents to non-residents. And I don't know how to go about doing that.
Yeah, I probably try to figure it out. I don't know if I have like a law, per se, you know, what I'd like to do. I think I could probably go, I could probably, oh yeah, you're right. actually.
Right. So I would like for like the last. I was
That would obviously.
5 would be.
Yeah, I think
And then finally, this is
Is it
about.
working like that?
Well, it actually, well, actually, or 11008. Yeah, and so I remember being told, this is a should come, get the notice, yeah, I say it's resident, now this is like, we're being ready, just non-resident, they're all non-late, and now I'm seeing.
Hard to know.
That the strange.
Maybe we should
What I like is
move the center.
was the percent.
Yeah, this one was your one. It was 3.5, it was, you was both, but it was the same. Yeah, it was 3.5. It was.
I feel, I mean, I have like. He just said they changed it. It's more popular.
The one on, the one I felt that was. And that was because of commercial.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Okay, yeah, I think what I do is, you know, like the TV on the pool that's set right? I can get, hold it, I can get. And then the compare everything of the rates. Like this year's, last year's compared to that. And it's. I think, well, I think on the one before, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the one.
there was who was it? There was a.
Like,
Way back in. 2000. Garden club, or the dorm, at that time, the dorm.
it's just a matter of, pretty cool. But. This, yeah, that was, I think.
Yeah, you got it.
That was when I first started, so that's when I first saw it.
Right, so I don't.
So that's where they did the young, what do they call it, the young atmosphere, or just.
Yeah, I don't,
I remember my kids weren't down until they didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so the PDF, I just meant the reading. No, I meant the previous reading. No, I meant like before, like I said.
Right.
With the administrator, I mean, I
Yeah,
don't.
from that perspective.
But I know the first time.
Oh, it's
I read this.
okay.
When I needed what the schedule was. Prior to like sharing this.
Given that people surrounding that area.
I'll try to be like.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
And some, when he says he suggests to do weddings there, that is.
For people that produce.
Excited. That's kind of on that side of the room. So that's all we're just building. That's exactly most of it, yeah. So that would be a little more. You're also doing that, you know, coming in. We're not allowed to call it that anymore. That's the only fire calls, but we don't want Exactly.
Should have one. See how I do it.
I know how that is. It's a nuisance.
Feels like a open space. And if that.
Sign and then-
Is the location that.
Yeah, that's why. That's
I'm totally okay with that, but now let's look at what to do with the locker rooms, former community center.
So we tear that down and
Underutilized asset that will really need.
So then it basically we have a building.
It's a lot less.
We just so. It's all trade-offs, you know, so it's like. Elevator, right?
Then we have control.
I know, that's true.
And they won't let us do that either.
Like, it's so valuable. To just do a one.
Who's they?
The, whatever the rules are.
Ryan.
We gotta capture this. Kate's not trying to hold it over.
Yeah, no, I think that like, that's a good, yeah, and so, you know.
Okay.
Great, thank you very much. You bet, Brett.
I will say, I forgot my phone. You know, like, it was close that, you let that person do that.
No.
There was a plan, right?
Run out.
Allison, you know the answer to this. So we're going around and as residents, we're weighing
I
in
just wanna
on
say,
what we want.
I think it's an interesting idea, but you.
My question is,
Yeah.
staff also have to go around and weigh in on what
You could.
they want.
I think only if they're resident.
I just think.
So that's so interesting.
This is
because in the,
we should just do it.
in the recent,
Well, yeah.
maybe no
I'm just
history,
saying for-
so we had a survey online, where people were being asked what they want. And staff really disproportionately weighed in without self-identifying themselves as staff. And my personal feeling was that if staff wants to weigh in, I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah. You can actually weigh in on staff spaces and we've had.
But this is potentially staff space, what we were just talking about, it's like maybe cool if we relocated our community center to the old firehouse, which by the way, nobody calls it that house.
Oh, they don't? They all call it the old firehouse.
They call it,
Here, come
or they
upstairs.
call it public works. building.
Yeah.
But nobody really.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna wait till my daughter, tell more people maybe after.
I mean, it's like, any questions, just let me know. This is just about like, you know, recommendations here, like what you would want to see in the space. This gets into the like, do you want to have a sauna? Do you want to have a, your resident?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of.
And then those, these are like wish lists, and then
I'm like, I feel like, yes,
Yes, yes, I'd say for you as a president, not you to train yourself, okay, I guess. All the residents are really want to saw us. Well, then that also, so it's like, yeah, the sauna, we could build. I was right. That's what I'm like, not that history, like, I would like you to.
I know, I'm so practical.
I know, it's
Like,
hard.
like when I was like, I wanted to teach it so bad, and then I said, oh my God. Well, no, I think it's like, it's, yeah, it's not my.
I mean, I appreciate it, but if there is something that you really have seen in other countries, or here's something that area that has something, okay, we'll see, really value, I'm sure with, and how we live.
One of my issues, you know, I hear people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you want? So 88. That's like, that's, I mean, that's the number.
How you doing? Good.
I wait. And there's other friends, you know, but sure, I think it's just like, we want your best, I was like, and this is what was you know, like exposing.
Yeah, I mean, these are exceptions.
Anyway,
On my mind. Always on my mind. I'm sure. Definitely. Hoping for year to year, because like the number is not right. I think it's right.
I can't hear anything. Johnny? No. 15 minutes. You have to wait. That's what it is. Okay. Here's Cynthia.
And that was, that's well.
What is the problem?
Can't hear anything. I turned this on. And I plugged this in.
What you plugged in? This?
Yeah,
Well, that's why this is not even on.
I turned it on.
No, it isn't on. But it's not plugged in because it's not, the light's not coming on.
How come?
I don't know. Do you not have another speaker system in this?
No,
I think these don't work.
it worked. I used them with Jason. I don't know why they aren't working. Maybe I have to have the video on.
No, you absolutely do not. That's bullshit.
Okay.
You know how many times I've used this? That's a crazy thing. Speakers.
It says off.
Things about the. We don't know yet where we. But this is
I guess I just asked. But they see it. So. Check. Check. So just to be president. Why would you even, and I can't figure that out. It's so simple. Now that's what I don't know there. So you think that it just has been and it's so many times. So we're not just having this. But I'm saying when it has I mean, so right now, they're using it now. This needs to be Staff also because clearly staff.
Yeah.
The summer. And the staff in this room. So they also. No, but submitting their responses. I think, I personally think staff should be allowed to have this, because if the staff was allowed to. Whether it's for, guardrails,
I don't know if she was in there, but I know that she was using it for the yards.
But I think she like her present, and I don't like everyone to be on the same page. You're seeing where if the staff want to be able to. But yeah, they did already. They are. They rent. They did. Commented on it. When they bought off.
Trying to think about it.
It needs to be addressed, and it's every minimum. And if there was a action, that's definitely come forward to so that goes. And until this has been addressed with Brian, we're trying to. It's going to continue. We're moving in January anyway. I'm not sure it's correct. I think.
Place right now is very dark.
Well, I would have read it.
So one style would not be able to accommodate or survive there. It was about my friend's mother.
I come down.
Economia says small wins. And it's even better to be advantage. And people like gathering data, so I just don't know. Yeah, I don't think that, I don't like to see there is a need. I think that for 30 years, we never rented this. It's like a 20. Because I think if the best person can be in a bigger space.
It's just like.
I would,
So.
yeah, and so you have a different for the things. I don't know, it's my village. Okay. We are speaking the
This poor guy just got a good vibe.
This is you.
No,
You know, that the space uses.
I think the evening.
You can use the same space throughout the day.
I think these are some other people's comments.
It's just like a dash, right? It's just like that.
Disabled slash yeah, you know, because this is for me and us. You know, I've been coming with Bartek, but a lot of times they, you know, they assess for the men's hospital, so I should recommend the, you could say ADA. So ADA is the.
So that somebody with a wheelchair, anybody, it's accessible.
Yeah, but this you could make it in the men's hospital and.
Family bathroom.
How many ADA?
You could just write family bathroom.
That's it. ADA accessible?
Yeah.
Gender, family bathroom, gender, ADA.
Yes.
No gender?
So I think if you're a family, you could write no gender, family bathroom, no gender, yeah.
I think it was shocking. That AI and their class.
I want to see you for.
At the school or at the I'm like,
Well, yes,
Where they are.
So I don't know, but, so.
All right, we gotta do that.
Stairwell in there. You can go up and down. Good, how are you?
Good. How's it going? Any questions? That is this location, it's the current village hall, so. Yes.
I haven't had that. I haven't had that.
Oh, yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
that's like.
Old village hall used to be there, yeah, right, so that's what this is,
So,
and then,
I mean.
just current village hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's if I can bring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even that question, testing, checking density and necessary. Well, it's relied on. More.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there's a bunch. Yeah. Right, so that's sort of, I would say, well. The value.
I was listening over there.
Your values.
Didn't know that
Sure,
they
but
had.
then we also use that, the specific. But, yeah, you're feeling like. Let me,
Yeah,
show it, yeah,
Absolutely.
So holiday plans, like still family living.
I would just. Spectacular. Yeah. But yeah, I'll be with them. But yeah, my brother, so they'll be home.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. Otherwise, nothing too much. And we're gonna go on vacation for a little bit, and that'll be nice. So like, we haven't been somewhere for like a really long time. And the two most places I've been was the Pacific Northwest. So I'm lucky to
Yeah.
get, so I need some sun.
Yeah, I was like.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
There was this world you must have had.
How would, like.
Because of
Yeah.
all the way to the crazy. You don't quite do that. This world. I can't do that. Yeah. No, I get, I definitely feel like in the summer, yes, it's warm and out, but I have my same kind of process that like, yes, I'm enjoying the warm weather. It's where do I need to be? I guess so I guess I cherish September a little bit. Yeah, there's so many. Yeah. No, so. Yeah. I appreciate when May is not like just really rainy and like 50s.
Oh, no, I just wanted to, I think you might see it. Yeah, good. You know,
Terry, who are good chance to respond. Yeah, the schedule. Yeah, it looks like a board pack. So yeah, the doc that I had in the committee one, I made it a little bit here. So that the rate comparison is like way easier. And then I obviously, yeah, program fee. Yeah, and then I labeled that on the notes, and then also I put that in a very short note. And then the comparison to the other, the calculus.
Oh, yeah.
Grade that field. Say,
Oh, I
how
see.
that's grade it.
So this is. What I will say is, just for the ball drop and that's.
Oh, I
And so even like, there are some special, like, there's a lot of bathroom, shower, you know, hot water stuff, tiles, like, all of that. Are you saying it's?
So we have.
I'm like, you're it, let's do it.
I think they're like real, no government, can I tell you, you wanna answer, we gotta.
I need some. Yes, no, I think, yeah.
Absolutely. Started with things like sun. And then I went to it's like, see, you're in.
Well, if, yeah, I honestly could use your help on, because we got a quote back and I'm like, oh my God, that comes.
Oh, yeah, sliding.
Right, like, I'm not gonna spend, I should have just torn the house down. You know?
You did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's made like.
Yeah.
Somebody from like,
Yeah.
they do phenomenal work.
Interesting.
They saw their work. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love, now no one seems to.
Okay, well, honestly, I would love a couple names, like, yeah, we're trying to figure out. I hear you, this is, to me, that's the RFP process, you know? Yeah, totally, like, let's go through, once we get, you know, alignment on what the pool building should look like, then bam, we'll get some quotes, you know?
No, I've lost the trading with the.
You had a good
That
time.
was my frustrations. The last couple of years, all I've ever heard is whatever.
AFS program is American.
That's water.
No, that's not. It was after.
This is all about surveys. We'll have.
Before you go to college.
Yeah.
Good experience. Yeah. College.
Renovating the aging assets to residents. Yes, and if you have.
Well, and then I.
That's. I want to have. I'm just throwing out some ideas, but
You know, this is,
the city of Palo Alto, when I was there.
yeah,
Put in, hot.
So it's trying to figure it out.
It was closed down. It was nasty. It was not only nasty, but it was liquor store.
no, but another resident actually mentioned like saunas and hot tubs as like, cool for the winter, like have like a winter membership where you could go and, you know, do like a Norwegian style, you know.
Another staff person, so careful.
And I agree. So this is just bucketed, if you have ideas though, what you want, it is just bucketed like small, small, medium, and then large. So that's, if you can kind of.
Great.
Finally.
This is my complaint.
Yeah.
There's no budget.
Yeah.
Your budget.
Yeah, here it is, yeah, so. Wow.
Closely.
Seems like a lot of mother and apple pie here. Kinds of things you would expect people to want.
One of the coolest things right now is, well, I don't know if it's cool because they treat it, but one of the interesting things, this visibility of the Vegas forever is so funny. I mean, you can go off the amazing photos of that Vegas forever. If there was a tunnel line straight. Unfortunately, it's not the tunnel line. I get there when I get there.
One of them, they're just reading, should read equal books, right? Get that comprehension. Overnight, order us books, order her books, she's constantly reading now, she has when she wants. We can't even get her to enough. Hazel is a sophomore. No, it's not, it's just, it's anything, just read it. Any material, just read.
I don't know.
Let's read.
But, yeah, so it's not
Stamina.
successful.
This is like.
Yeah.
Great stuff right now. Hazel, you gotta go to the library. I know.
Exactly.
There's a thing called the library.
Oh, yes, no, I don't think, you gotta go there, you know. I think that. Share. Yeah. If I have a meeting, it's open. So that we hopefully once you get part of all the conversation. Okay. Where you think you're located?
No.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that, but now I do. Everyone. Yeah, yeah.
But we can't hear. Sure. With your hands.
Let's see how you are.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, I think. Yeah, no, let's see, what is that right now? Oh, it warmed up to 2 degrees. It's like you're not seeing questions.
I would say those skills are usually viable.
Oh, true, actually. Regard with Michael.
You know, the song. Yeah.
There, how's it going? All right.
Could you as
At the last day. So crowded.
I was there the last.
Yeah.
I actually have a very, my kid in school. In a shallow end, like.
Last year, like 24, or yeah, that one wasn't actually, 23 was actually a more crowded than this time.
It's the 13th state.
I could, it could have been even. Yeah, yeah.
Really, Steve, really.
Yeah, they show how it makes such an impact on how many people.
I have something I want to add on. My husband, who's one of them, says that. Oh, no, it's.
All the board want to know, you're doing an amazing job. You really are.
In the shower.
You really are. And it's very helpful to have the.
There's no hot water.
You fleshing out some of the conversations that have happened already. That's really special. Yeah.
Yes.
The fact that, yeah, they didn't have to do, and going using hot water.
Just for the hot water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the hot water. Otherwise, he left it, he said, stay open longer.
Yeah.
You know, don't allow maybe little kids, but maybe they'll allow big adults.
What you, I honestly, I have a personal, like, opinion or kind of, observation that I've seen, but I don't know at large what those kind of. Residents, you know, of all ages, of all, you know, like, the village, of all diversity elements. So that's.
But one picture I understand what you just said, maybe it's about basically using. So yes, I would thought about how we
That's not his ground. Well, that's where that, you know, so that's why I've been like, I want to hear.
Have a conversation. Good, because I feel like.
Yes, yeah.
And that wasn't that long,
Yeah.
we don't need to reinvent it, this is my opinion.
Sure.
Not that much has changed.
Sure, yeah.
And I know the space is different, what's possible there and everything, but just looking at. Big plans.
Yeah, she also.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind cherries.
And then the details of that. To be determined, but I think something that just.
I was gonna say, how do you?
There's when I say it, that's probably. They keep the collective. Or something.
I don't know much really to say.
I don't feel like, I don't know about
Like last year.
But like I feel bad, that's like I think it's very.
Trees and.
One of the only things that has. Like, or even a fellow.
Right, and it's mostly in the summer.
They're already, even if, you know, the weather's bad or having. They can go there, and then if it gets better by two weeks, they have.
Yes.
I do think that. There's. How it turns out with the space. It's just single around. Versus just like really other things.
So you're not seeing that with other pools at all?
It depends, I think, like, with like, there's kind of like a park rest, there's more so looks like an opening with like a shed, it's like a shed that, like a little, very small, wood space, nothing probably just in the trees.
Right there.
But I haven't seen other tools that have like
This and it's coming back and forth and
Oh, I mean. Oh, correct, yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be locations.
there wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like-
That's very similar. I didn't ask, but I assume that.
This one is out.
Like, you know, it depends on the.
Which era, that went right from.
But yeah, if there's a really crowded pool, then there's something that would be a bit of a challenge. I think it's kind of hard with the, when we had all cities.
So that's, you know, how that happened.
Getting
What's
people to remember.
there, this is what,
Like, you
I don't know, we know what we want.
It's like, this is a
Yeah.
temporary.
Yeah.
Our parking isn't this bad all of the time. Yeah.
So that shed thing.
Plus street parking across.
That's what I would assume. They have. They actually have it right now. And it-
Yeah, the B side, there's all there.
Yeah, but that's what it looks like they're doing. It'll be mainly outdoor space. And there's that.
All.
That's why I asked.
It's not.
Rainmakers,
But like,
like, what are the
on my heart.
requirements for that?
I guess you're right. You know,
It just has three steps.
But
But
I know.
yeah, the front steps in the back, and I think that's more.
Like anywhere in the village.
Versus like.
Okay, well.
But I think if.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, it's more sense, like, you know.
So yeah, I think.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, no, I'm here. What I was saying.
I still feel.
Building up here.
Something that.
But.
Yes, it doesn't need. I really. The rest stuff.
And so, and what's obvious is that the first
3 months.
floor.
So that's.
How's it going?
First floor is built like that.
I'm Dane, I'm.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Well,
How are you? Family good?
however, there's, that is cold and we're much, it's unfortunate, this happened on such a good jam. And I was chatting outside of here, all the signs were I thought it would be. But.
So even the back, the stuff like that.
Yeah, so, yes, yes. I don't know if these are allowed to picture for far.
Oh, yeah.
You might want to put on the side, that's the case, because it's, that's the Canadian style. Just a facade.
Yeah, we've always just, glad you done it, yeah, because of the. Especially on the Saturday.
And then that's my spot, you know, my. You know, we don't usually, and I would say in the middle of the race right now. Lunch thing, that is, it is a great, yeah, I know that's bad, and so I think so, it's like. Just very, like.
That's really, really big.
I know, although when I put it down, sure,
I guess I.
So I just.
What I.
Where I would love, you know, like, well, when you. I want to think, yeah, and I, this is for the middle day, I would just let this is where you got it.
And.
But
But we wanted to follow where we had to say, yeah. Yeah, and then just. No. I think
Like,
there's going to be a lot of research.
I don't know, I have no idea.
So they.
Or something like that. I don't know. I mean, you know, who knows if that's gonna be possible, although, well, there's still people.
I know some of them are just kind of working on something similar. And there's a very, like,
Sure. Sure.
I think it just depends on the details of the project.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure if I would jump in.
In terms of the, yeah, just having.
They do it.
Something more.
Wow, yeah.
I guess I've noticed it, you know.
Yeah, I know there's a new.
So.
My neighbor.
I don't have.
Yeah. And I want to try that too. Yeah.
But I think. Regardless,
Yes.
September to.
Yes, yes,
So.
yes.
second.
Yes, she was saved.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good thing
September
to
to.
know. Yeah.
They see they have.
Yeah, anyway. Feedback. I mean, I'm just, yeah. Yeah.
No.
Spicy,
And they've done. I mean, they just, they did everything. And it's like, that was. We're just.
I'm just signing on to.
Obviously, that's people. And.
Something,
Well,
some wood
we're-
component.
You know,
It
so
could be
that-
on, just like, wood and
I
all,
think-
still having.
Yeah. Like, I want to do this. Yeah. Yeah. So. But yeah.
I mean, I don't know, we'd have to look into it, I'm not sure.
Have to be all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought everything should.
And, yeah. I think the issue with, like, is that the
Yeah,
east
sure,
side
there's
that
seasonality, like,
overlooks the
spike in,
plains
you know, the
and
like.
that's your, you know, where your.
And temporary, they're limited, you know, they're out this area. I don't think, you know, maybe it's weekends only, but like, you know, I don't. I'm just. Exactly. You have to have men's and women's. That's just how we do things in Oakland.
And you also want.
What's important to know about this, like, if you like this idea, when you make a new building,
Up and down.
you want to design it where the locker, you know, have access, you know, to their so still come in
No,
that
it
first
is too.
floor and change. You know, in the summer, you're making the left turn going to the pool, in the winter, you're making a right turn going to the. I don't know. I'm just, I think what you have, the ad sign is. I don't know.
Yeah. You want things to feel like they're new, you want to feel like you're not. But also you want to make sure you're not just. Oh, that's good, you're good.
Oh, I mean, I feel like you're getting good around that. So most health clubs here have a men's sauna and a women's sauna.
Yeah.
And then maybe they have Tuesdays is mixed day. So my mom on Tuesdays, she's telling me that I'm gonna watch them.
Other thing.
Anyway, the point is, like, yeah, we may have some kind of winter. Yeah. I guess. Coming up, and then of course, we need to sort of. I wanna look at like benchmarks, like to other villages or other, yeah, like what is the benchmark?
Private pools for destiny, either right at the.
Yeah, that's about, yeah.
Like,
Program.
program.
It's new revenue.
But memberships, I'd say.
We have the facilities, we have the parking lot.
Yeah. I'd say third.
And then we can use that. Are other trustees?
I'd have to look at the sheet.
To someone.
But I thought I did.
So I was at a holiday party over the weekend and a
And
resident.
he's not correctly.
So I don't know,
They said they're on the current.
And I was like,
Where it's like, there's initiation or there's like a committee. and Other members. There's ratios. Like, by God. This is a little hard.
Yeah.
It's like you have the register.
But like here, it's outside.
We have new members versus a 10-year member rate. Yeah, it looked like, I mean.
Which is a one that's so sad. This is something that is. Yes. And it's always been cold, it's not 30 degrees. It's that cold.
That's interesting with those kids, they have their 4K past pay.
Oh my gosh, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. All right. I'm not taking credit for it. My neighbor.
So they don't. I want to say, I don't know. I think they did. No, sure, but yes, they're set up like over, it's like balconies and things and all. And I haven't been inside, so I'm sure there's like a bed space, very nice. Now that was more of the structure where it's like, oh, there's like an initiate. At least from what I could read, some of these places, it's hard to interpret what they're. The way I worded it was 6,000 initiated. Per person or per family, yeah. Yeah. And then from what I could find, still was 1,200, sorry, they got specific, so it was like single membership, $459 monthly. And then separately, there was like a household improvement fee that they paid. That was one thing too, that was like 70, so. That'll be in there. Yeah, that'll be in there. Like I said, it's not directly comparable, but it is good. And I think, I don't know if they're similar to like a flash bomb, where it's like, yes, it's. The village or some municipality, but it might, I don't know if it's like separate fee still that you. That's not dated.
The home.
Yeah, I have. It's like talking about like the pool general fund, it's like. Yes, we want to get the funds balance in a better spot because it's recovering from like the pool like project, but it's also like. Not like. The pool has to have $3 million, so she said you have to put in pay back all. So it's like, I think with that original 96,000 that was scheduled.
Right.
The payments on that was gonna be 100,000 per year. Now, I think that was maybe a 10-year window versus it's spread out even more, but it's just putting that fund in a position where it could afford the yearly. Sorry.
We're still about 3 quarters.
Yeah, when I did it, other would be 70. I know that. Breaks it down, but yeah.
We got a lot to do.
No, I just think that the impact is worth noting in terms of how many generations of families that they probably has friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so great.
That's right.
You go. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Down.
Where I think there's there's so much. So many years worth of impact that we don't even understand. How many people serve it at such a funny time.
Are you getting more specifics over there? Good job. Well, Carol's been like preceding it, so that's really good.
Yeah.
Like you're like, this is great, and then you're like, oh, God.
I guess I would other than.
Sure.
Have some sort of secondary as. Yeah, but that outsourced thing. If there was an outsourced.
Discussion building for it.
Yes, I think it's built in 1997, so as of now, it's worth doing.
You know.
Yeah, the reason there was redone. Yeah, I do that. Really. When you actually. That definitely be considered as far as. Maybe that's great. It's not fun. Energy. Yeah, and that's one of those things, because it's like,
Cause we did the liner on them completely.
yeah. Yeah, so the like down the road thing is eventually like once that new liner's life cycle is gone. We did, so like, it was redone like a few years ago. They did like a concrete evaluation of it. Yeah, it was fine. But I think the next thing after this. Will be, okay, we want to redo the interior. Or, you know, get it more like structurally. Keep that surface, or we're gonna put another line over it, or wait. So that's kind of the down the road thing. And I don't know how in depth that is. It's like, the section needs a restructure, or the entire pool basin, or just little.
We lost a lot of shading.
Yeah.
On the bike path. So I know we talked about some shading devices, but we held off on that.
Yeah, so there was one that I had like ordered that was gonna go on that south side. It couldn't get how close it could be to the sewer line, but that is going, that's in now on the east side. So it'll be new for this upcoming summer, and it's like a 36 feet long.
On the
East side, yep. So that thing that used to be there with like all the poles, right, that'll be gone, and it'll be like. That's lounge chairs, but then during the event, for sure you could, what they normally do over there, that's perfect for right now. So that'll be helping a bit.
Alright, we spent
See, we'll take on the fence, I'll stay. Correct, yes. We're not planning anything else on the south.
No, outside of, I don't know if you saw the blue thing that was there this year, it was like a shade sale. I'll probably look into being able to try another one. Because those are very much, you can roll them up in a storm. They're, you don't need a giant concrete footing, right, to carry in a.
You're not messing with the.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the.
Yeah, no problem.
It's hard to find time. I talk in the office.
I have I have a bit of encyclopedia. I know other people who know even more than me or more historic knowledge.
Yeah. That's why.
Yeah.
That's what I was. Yes, exactly.
Five PM.
Sunday, first Saturday.
Saw the date. Yes, I have. Yeah, so where's your? I was curious that. They're too big now for me. I gotta. So, okay. Now. Don't think that's. Right now, when it's. Gotta be. Yeah. On the other side. Well. What my properties are worth way more. That number is way higher than what was by the so, yeah. Sure. So I don't have a good answer right now, other than I believe. Yeah, the exact. That is just bad. I think that other piece. Do that some very dark. Then something to the other side. Not yet, I know, hopefully. Hey, thank you for everything you do, I'm David Gordon. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your, yeah, how can I help? What's your? You're like the newest trustee, right? Thanks for everything you do.
So this whole kind of wraparound is about,
That's like, oh, okay. Remove.
Something like that. Now, and you can kind of size it by budget from small, medium to large. So you would put your ideas here.
So are these your initial suggestions or?
These are resident
Okay.
suggestions, but again, small, under 100K, kind of under $1 million, and then unconstrained. And then the final question we have for folks today is location. Where if you want, something located. So.
Man, so many choices.
Go here, if there's other feedback or other locations you want to add. So again, this station is almost about how do we invest in the community from a space. So let me know if you have any questions.
So, question for you on crossing. What I'm noticing is going around here. So I think on, for example, Village Hall, location, new thing, location, great location. And then I see stickers. And I'm also recognizing that people are going around the room and looking over there, those people I've seen have already gone over the room. People are adding more, and it's nice, and people are adding more suggestions. And then the folks haven't, you know what I mean, like the people who've made their past. Aren't necessarily seeing all the suggestions that other residents are putting down. So when you're doing your trustee forum, or you want to talk about that and ask people maybe to raise their hand in favor?
I think that's a great thing to flag for Allison, the moderator.
Oh, I'll talk to Allison. Allison's taking pictures.
I think we should. Some people think this, you know, like we should condense, if there's similar overlapping ideas, we should condense those.
So I used to do the same thing.
Yeah. 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 I sit on this. So I'm upset.
It's like, you know.
I'll write that.
I
know. Yeah, in like corporate setting too.
Like, I didn't even, was this or this?
So this is small, medium.
Yeah, I get
This is
it.
like,
I get it. I guess that's, you know, same thing. I go through everything that I want.
oh, of course, it's impossible, yeah.
Yeah.
And even, but what I would say to that is, and I don't know, maybe other boards have different feelings on this, but like what I would say to you is, don't like constrain yourself. That's the job of the trustees, is to say, well, we are hearing the residents and why, we can't do X and Y, you know? So how do we make a decision? I don't want the residents to feel like I have to layer some, you know, budget.
You can add.
Straight.
You can add
I want to hear what you really want, because that helps us make the case of.
So vote on it.
That it's like, I know, what we now would be asked is.
And then over here.
Sure.
Specific needs, so maybe you're.
You know, it's hard to do.
I really.
It's hard to say, very hard.
What do you want?
Yeah.
At the same time, it's, you know, one of the things. Your suggestions over here, but I mean,
Borrowing, like borrowing.
so large or small.
Absolutely, absolutely, but if it's. I mean, we get the check back, you know?
Yes.
Oh, me
And
too.
that's why I wanna know.
Yeah,
what
I'm saying, like,
do we really
what are your
want?
overall goals?
Actually invest, for me, my priority is how do we actually invest in living people? How do we build, we have this, opportunity right now, is the TPW, and then over there, the link is.
Talking about the roller coaster. These are not reiteration. I was like, so that's what you realize.
And then you jump shot to get torn down or like that. But then you start like,
exactly.
you know, we have a good, like, even though like, or something, I think these updates should have been like, years ago, 10 years ago. There's like no. Yeah. Let's kind of leverage it.
I have been talking about so much.
Oh, they're good. Yeah. I was thinking about the executive today. A few weeks ago. I know, and I was like, that was great.
I know, I know, yeah.
Oh, so we're supposed to put cookies on the already there with you.
Yeah, so like, oh, I like that.
I hope since. Oh, that's a good. So I think we should try to do that feedback. You know, yeah, this is like an idea of the constraint. Was this your idea? Yeah, this is like, someone would put here like, you do want to.
You guys moved up in, is that why you?
No, it's like $1,000. But it lasts almost a year.
You just look like.
Oh, I was saying, thank you. I was.
Yeah.
No, it's totally fine. No, he's doing well. What's up? Every, very nice.
My pleasure.
He'll feel good and then he'll pick up the pole and go down, but he's rebuilding.
He just got knocked out.
Something. Space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah. It's really.
It's hard in there, so he gets himself set with it. Like, there are people,
Yeah.
who even with the, when they get their vaccines, are still susceptible.
Yeah.
to his father.
Yeah.
No, he's pretty good. Good, good.
Around for Christmas? Yes, we're thinking around. I do too. I really love to kind of snuggle in and. And then final question here.
There's gonna be an 11 o'clock trustee discussion.
Karen's got a concert today, and got things going on.
Let me know.
Okay, is that, the Spa
Yeah.
Museum?
Yeah, yeah, so we have to be over at the church.
Okay, okay, are you for Christmas?
No, they're coming to New Hampshire.
I want to introduce you. Oh, good. Do you know? I want to introduce you, Mary. Can I interrupt your conversation? This is Joe. And the reason I want to introduce you to Joe, not because of you, I mean, yeah, but Joe is my teacher.
You're going to have to repeat me or.
And they've got this nice swimmer, my oldest, 25, definitely.
All right, right.
Yeah, and this is Kate, I'm sorry. Kate Cross. But the reason I wanted to make this connection is because Aiden is in Switzerland. And Mary is moving.
Oh, wow, where?
And so I'd like to put together.
No one
and so-
Yeah.
Wow. and he's doing that.
Yeah, he's fixing up a family. I would say that. Yeah, I believe they're not. Some. I counted it from aerial. So. Yeah, otherwise.
I'm sorry.
Well, so his background was he had a bachelor's in biology and neuroscience.
This very.
So. He felt pretty obliged.
Yes. But like. It's not. So it's it's like. Was there. I get.
Sure.
No. And then the title of the university, now the whole program's in English. He has learned German. I think.
Yeah, so my youngest son, we have two sons, that was, and our youngest is.
Yeah, that would be the whole.
Like, he's husband now.
Leaving. You're back. No, it's.
He wants to come down and.
So you're back on.
It's really nice. He's been there 2 years. We're gonna be asking him.
Well, I'm telling you what, when Elizabeth had her medical thing in New Mexico, I was so grateful that I knew somebody
Outside of.
who was living in Albuquerque, that I could call and say, "Well,
Good old.
and he's there, right there. I mean, it's nice to have somebody.
And back out there.
Anyway, if I could get there next.
She's still.
And I'm gonna pick up my dogs. Yes, I got it. It's good, yeah.
Do you guys know each other?
I mean, I just drove here. I think I've seen your name before.
This is Cynthia. She's my sister-in-law.
Brothers and she was. So you along?
Yes, there was no lights, there was all the light rocks from this guy.
Okay, I was saying bye, actually.
Yes, they call it trusting.
Always
Because I thought. I know, but I mean, that. It wasn't like.
Where's right next one?
I gotta finish my cigar. Go ahead. We'll have a little party up there. We'll come back to 11.
Something solidified, other than just like metal. And this.
I went to.
It wasn't like the huge story.
Yeah.
No gender bathroom. I was a little bit scared. And I was, and I went in, I was like, well.
It's so funny, my kids have been in the house.
It was like
3 days.
Yeah.
Stalls.
But they were just being the entryway, and they still. What did they get in
Then we would decorate, we would get lots of. You know, you.
Yeah. We decorate for Halloween and have.
And there's somebody by your
house. So we did quite a lot of.
Even though you guys didn't stare.
Yeah. About 100. So we get.
That's not you, George.
Yeah.
So that goes out.
Sound to attract.
Yeah.
We're not.
Not that far away, I'm at the top of the slide.
That was-
I don't know.
That's what I was just thinking of.
But I even remember when they had that. I was like.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's not like that, but I was thinking.
And then they were figuring this. It was in front of the tennis court. So like you have the upper part, the tennis court path.
So he's now practicing.
He said that. So.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
I just want to say I thank you for being
This was from.
I guess I'm gonna keep.
Now, it is a little outside, but also that's all like green space.
Yeah.
And then I will do
And that was when they were like. So, yeah. This is like what they did. So this is the current building, and then it was like a bridge. I think that was just a visual, like, I don't think it's like specifically what they were, like, you know, they just have. Because in theory, that's based on that. You could do it. Yeah, that's literally, so there, I think you were saying. So I think, you know, went through all of this, and then I think they saw the cost. So that was what I was hoping to avoid, right, was like not going too far into it, and then we're like, oh. Yeah. I do not. This was the existing building.
Well, I would say something.
Maybe.
Yes.
But,
Yeah, I thought that was unique, what I thought though. 'Cause, and then I was like, well, you know, we'd have to turn it into like one of those, arms they have at, parking garages where it goes up and down. 'Cause otherwise you'd be spending your life in the parking lot. So it just, yeah. Yeah,
Like.
and they're already sick of having to probably park it.
Yeah.
But that was 70, that would have made 74. And in theory, second, another 27 stall. Yeah.
Well, I bet, the one thing I will say about this, the people that live right here probably would like.
Yeah. Less congestion. And I think that's kind of the hard part. Like going through a maze. And then this area here is to get in and some oh, straight from, yeah. You just go
Right immediately, like along.
onto Purdue or a
Yeah.
new section of Purdue.
Exactly, and so just, so they don't.
That would make a lot. And I actually don't know if that's why that hasn't been, I mean, outside of just preserving green.
Sure, sure.
And roads not being a popular thing, but
Right, but.
they would definitely just make you a straight shot.
Right, then it's just like right to the.
Yeah, I need to think about that. Yeah. That was one of those.
Well, I think that's probably I would love to.
Take for you.
Yeah.
Now my next venture like that.
Yeah.
What's huge, he's sitting in his chair, is 5 or 6 units, and you see all the television comes on. I was telling him, well, Lynn's not where you can go. Oh, yeah. Well, I better see what's on these. So you're gonna correct this and discuss it with the board?
I think so. I mean, the Kate and Carol's show here, so I'm just.
Good. Happens later, right?
Yes, that's,
Yeah. Did you find anything out what the next steps are?
Well, I think it's donating.
Well, that's what we referred to because we weren't sure what was going on. So
I got a senior citizen.
Looking longingly to get up to your house up the hill.
Yeah, that one. One more hill. Yeah. That's the one thing now. I figure we know it's a little bit. Yeah, it's everybody.
I heard someone say something.
I know.
City and goes to a school district. Well, I never started one, she goes.
It's like, so probably that, but then.
I also had a colleague.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll be prefer to walk around and, but you're right, it is.
No.
Yeah. Possible we'll just have them learn. Yeah.
It was interesting, when you did the research on what schools, all the schools they have. Those are better recommendations. Some of them.
Theoretical.
Yes. Exactly where you can pause it.
That's where,
They have their end.
Weird Al Yankovic, you've heard of Weird Al.
But it's.
Yeah, he was with that, he was the same guy.
I passed away.
It's not exactly.
This is interesting.
So is your time working also, or is he, studying?
Of course, that is insurance and staff. I can see that. Like, how is this? Right. It doesn't have to be. Like, it could be. If you want to.
I've lived out there years.
full, but you can sell it. Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
I like the stickers.
There could be some policy, you know, where we put it and everything, but I think that it's a nice.
If you like this area.
I support the pool. Where should I vote?
Cool, in what manner?
What are the options?
Like, you want the community center at the pool, or when you, we're not,
Open.
yeah, we're not talking today about like how we imagine a pool that will be a future conversation. But hey, that would go on where John is, yeah, like kind of big, yeah, these are like topics that we could put.
Going good. Dave.
Short term.
Great.
Minor adjustment.
All right, I gotta go see the kids.
And then longer term, we have a lot of important.
Hey,
Okay.
No, do you teach during the year?
No, I see. Yes. So that makes us helpful too, but, yeah, so I feel a little bit of a break, lower schedule time of year. And then it picks up again, beginning of the year. No, it's good.
There's a way.
I'm still able to pay
No, it's more than that. I have gotten it, slowly about it. It's making its way there. I don't think that's starting to do that. Yeah. So last year was a year. I mean, it's, that's already. I got 25. And so that's definitely a plan in the future to get that. There's other places that, even though it's out here. And I get like, I get the whole thing, like, yeah, their first job. But like, it's still worth it.
Yeah, maybe a more robust,
So that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one. Even short term, yeah, so I think we kind of illustrated that. Not like, I'm not talking about the concessions. That has a longer term, like, this is the current bill. I think kind of gets to those things, but it's like, you know, there's like everywhere. It's, for how old it is, it's actually. But I've seen other tools that I've seen other tools that their pool buildings are so old. The ground to get in is not even flat. Like, it's like, there's like a ledge to get into the building. So we're lucky we have that.
All right, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
You're your best decorating.
Enjoy this.
See you. Tom, how you been?
Good.
So how do you even- I don't know the whole third one.
Thank you. So it's supposed to fall out and then you won't see the. Wall Street. Heading back. It's going to be, this is the post. Still red. Exactly. So you guys, I'm very, get like 100% full coverage. I was so far gone, because they don't want to, they don't want to take much from here. They don't want to. Depending on how far gone you are. You guys been on full coverage. I still look for, it's 1 day later, 7 hours. That's it. I don't know, I felt good there. We're still alive too. No, they're like, so like the. Highly recommend it. So, well, if you don't know what
Summer, we'll see.
I mean, like next, they say here, it was 6 results, but like 6 or 8 months. So, summer might be a little.
That's all part of the property to go.
I'll give you direction. The second half. You're good.
I want to just.
Yeah. Alright, so 5-minute workshop.
And are we gonna sit around the dais or are we just gonna?
No.
spread out some? Okay, good.
Yeah, they're your red light office, so everything else is fine, standing there.
Oh,
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on. So, 20 South Park plus first meeting.
You know, more.
This is like
I like the tree you are.
consolidated. Buildings. Place South Park. That's true.
Well.
Get money back, right? Consolidating. Operation. That's important.
You got great choices too.
Yeah.
You really do. How's Tim doing? I haven't seen him in a while. The last time I saw him was Jennifer's graduation party. I invited him because, you know, he's just been there. And so I haven't seen him and I keep meaning to stop in. He's been dating Alan for a couple of years. I've met Alan several times. He's wonderful. He's great. But I haven't. Since.
Yeah.
So what kind of different color dots?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. I had, that was my first question. Or that's one that feels off. Right, yeah, right.
So the only time I was in a building by the pool was when your dad, you had a party gift for your dad.
That was the only time you've been there?
And well, in that upper room.
Oh my gosh, Kurt, I can't believe it. You need to get out more.
Well, is that in the all upstairs?
Well, it used to be. I mean, I had, I personally ran German, language classes there for a while.
Okay.
There have been children's music programs in the summer.
Okay.
This is the problem though. I think first of all, if at some point a few years ago, they changed the fee structure and they made it really expensive.
Oh, really?
Hundreds of dollars to rent it. So it's like, if I wanted to have like, you know, from the Boy Scouts or something, for the German, I think at that time we were paying $25 an hour to rent it for the German language. And I think it went up to 100 or 200 or something like that. So I guess this is my perception of that space. It's not nice. It hasn't been upgraded. And then they put the fee structure on that it just didn't make sense anymore. Somebody recommended that I look at it for a goodbye party for me. Somebody wanted to host a goodbye party. And my first reaction was, it's not that cheap. And more importantly, it's just not very nice. So if it was free, really cheap, okay, then we spend some time decorating and make it nice. So anyway, that's my rundown.
Stores in the past, but I had never, other than, I can barely remember, other than the steps were very difficult for my mom.
That's the big problem in my opinion, is it's not accessible. That's a problem. Yeah, that's a big problem. I really, my personal feeling is community space, it's gotta be a priority. I think that, yeah, I think that's, and the pool is targeted, the pool is a huge.
That's our university.
I know not everybody goes there, but it just, and it is the place for families. So it's part of the community space, but we need something much better.
There's so much other around there. And to me, it's very accessible. You can walk there, bike there.
Yeah.
But it needs a lot more parking, obviously. If you add it, and parking is the issue for the pool people, right? I don't know, I'm guessing.
I don't, you're saying pool people complain that there's not enough parking?
So I would look at it and say, where do people park in front of the pool when the pool's busy?
Yeah, I don't know. I never drove to the pool, so I don't know.
Right.
But I have to say, I haven't heard complaints about parking. I mean, when there's a meet, there's a lot of families
Right,
coming.
then you got 100.
Right, exactly. And then it's, they might have their park, but that's the truth. But you know, it's not parking. So I don't think about parking being a problem. So,
That's good.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, are you gonna stick around a little bit, Melissa?
I thought it was, that wasn't my thought, but it was gonna start and to walk out and just walk out.
All right, yeah, I think it's gonna start in 15 minutes. Is the first one. I have a lot. Thanks to Jenny. Trying to get energy for a dog. Do you remember the dog? Years ago?
Very vague.
We're getting ready of the workshop. It's a good place to stand. You got a lot of around. So before we conclude this portion of the workshop, just wanted to talk a little bit about what's happening next, right? No decision will be made today. I think that's important to know. After this, we're going to have the trustees and the staff walk around and start gathering themes. They're both going to stick around. We're going to have some kind of small group discussion and then a large group discussion about what themes are emerging. Residents and the public are warmly invited to stay and observe. If you are heading out now, please do take 2 minutes to complete the evaluation. There's a QR code on your sheet before you go. Carol, do you want to talk about next steps in this overall process?
Yes, so we've had our workshop with the residents, staff and all. We are going to have our discussion here, like Allison just said. And then we are also, for those who couldn't make it today, are sending out a survey to all residents with essentially the same questions being asked as what are here in the room, so that there's more opportunity for feedback. Also, facilities are going to be on the agenda for the regular Tuesday Board of Trustees meeting. So there will be another chance to hear synthesis and ideas. And then what we are aiming for is a decision about steps for 2026 and getting ready to put out a request for proposals in January. So that's what we're aiming for, to integrate everything and be ready to jump in January.
Awesome. So again, residents and public, we'll invite you to do the evaluation if you're heading out. But we very much hope you're staying. So if you are, I'll invite, I think, trustees and staff to come up here for a moment. And I will invite residents to have a seat. Nobody leaves till the pastries are gone, so start. And here's what we're gonna do. Yep. And
Can I just ask a very quick clarifying question? How are you guys sending out the survey?
You know what? I don't know that yet. It's not being done by Allison, who's done so much to put on this event. It's going to be done through Village Hall. If you have concerns about that, I'd be glad to hear those.
Oh, well, I just am curious. I'm not aware of a village-wide method that everybody, because Nixle has been, anyway,
I don't think
you guys have
a
heard from
survey
Yeah.
on Nixle, but
Yeah. So I'm hearing that one of the priorities is making sure that goes out, but we probably won't be able to accept. Yeah, thank you for raising.
Yeah.
Great. All right. So if we can have, residents are invited to stay and silently observe or have great engaged conversations. We like to see those out in the hallway. Trustees and staff, and I can have you come up. We're going to do directions on the next stuff. All right. So Chief Jamie, I'm going to borrow you up here. So again, I love the feedback. Keep it writing on those index cards. All right, and otherwise, residents and public are invited to sit there. All right, staff and trustees, come on up. So this next section of the workshop is very much about sort of digesting the themes that are around the room. So we're gonna do it, we're gonna spend about 20 minutes, and if you need a bathroom break, or again, keep eating pastries. In the next 20 minutes, go for it. I'm gonna pass around this worksheet, and my only request is that on top, you put either staff or trustee, you don't put your name, so that I'm able to separate this out. So. Here. And this is really asking, there's questions on both sides. Please write legibly. I will do my best to interpret your handwriting, but you know, I don't wanna like write down the word sauna when what you were asking for was a garage. Or vice versa. So again, write staff or trustee on top, but we're really asking you on front and back, what stands out for you? What recommendations do you have, and what else do you believe it's important to highlight or share? So you are filling out for this portion, the 3 boxes on the front, 2 of the 3 boxes on the back.
Yeah.
And then when you've kind of had a chance to like look around, digest what's around the room, and to fill this in, I'll invite you to sort of come back here, and then we'll regroup and start carrying on the board. All right, who else needs 20 minutes? Got 20 minutes, so my plan is to reconvene in about 30 minutes. Yeah. All right for you.
Don't have to go around and look.
Yeah, so you're gonna want to walk around, look at everything that's there. Did everybody get a sheet? Questions about what we're doing? Yes. All right, we'll reconvene at 10 past.
So basically, everyone should spend the first 10 minutes meeting and then write it.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to read first, then write.
Yeah.
And if you need paper to take notes, feel free to grab something.
Were these the same?
Yeah, just
Okay.
two.
Same thing on
Part one,
both
part
sides.
two.
Okay.
We just have no space.
Gotcha.
Quiet. What we do, Kurt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you have old people in them.
Okay.
memorializing it all. Yeah. I don't know what makes it. I get, I don't know. Sure, this girl, I was assuming about that. All the way out Saturday. But people get one. Well. Usually, I mean, so many. So far. And you so funny, everyone. Like, so. People look at it. I'll take that. And I. This one person on this side, people must be the night. I've never liked that.
Yeah, yeah.
Take a slot at the dog park, like it.
Many dog parks have screens from soccer as well. There's a wood. Down there. No. Usually does. So you're on quick trip station. You go down this street, right, you're more party. So it's kind of popular, you pull on you one corner. It's on that, and that's what 5 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. is an operation. And so it's not an example. Oh, and be honest. But I don't know, a sign, he's driving to you. So I'm with it. Just go and show the press. Yeah, 7:30 a.m. Multi-use, and older, more. We were in multi-use. So, there are no kids there then, it's safe. And, all the dogs are, then we won't get, my dog was like, it's 100 dogs. So, yesterday, that's something, you know, because I can make an issue. You'll be on it every bit. Those in the ball, it's small. What would you like to use? Just hold on. Beautiful.
And it's just. I don't think there is. And then, so residents, if you want to visit, I'm just gonna invite you to super user inside voice on this. Very quiet.
So I'm gonna go.
Yeah, no, and we're happy to have you here, everyone, who serve in any other. And then trustees and staff, as you're done, and you have lots more time, but as you're done, I'll just invite you to maybe bring a chair up here. And we can kind of, that'll give me a good sense of why we're starting. Bring a chair. Or come stand, that'll be.
I gotta write down my.
Yeah. Yeah. And if folks need more time to write, even after 7 more minutes, we're good.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah. You want this chair, you can grab another one.
I'll grab one of these chairs.
Somebody said, what should we do? I said,
They should give
you the thing.
Yeah, hold on to it for now, right? Whether it's your staff or trustee up top, perfect. And then come on up, because we're gonna do some.
Good. So
give an you're up.
indication that we're done writing.
Yes. So I'm not doing further too much.
So So is this the second part? I mean, the second part come after you do this.
Part of it.
Rather than talk amongst themselves about what they do.
That's our kind of. Yeah. 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 Well, that's good. But we will. About 2 more minutes to write, and then we can extend that time if we need it. There's 3 boxes on the front and 2 on the back.
They were little ones. It's my sort of drive to get stuff organized.
So,
I think we should, Allison, sorry, I'm gonna make this recommendation. I think we should open up the doors so that there isn't an illusion of this being a closed session. I know we're trying to do that.
that's fair. I didn't
For
realize.
sound
I
purposes.
didn't want to kick. them.
No, I get it.
That's good. All right. Well, they didn't want this to appear that the happened. Was it closed session? We'll leave that one open. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna have a chance for public hair, before, walk around. And then they're all gonna record now. Yeah, we're going to ask for party loud, go upstairs or. The first day is good. Please. I heard that one. It's an awesome chocolate. All right. So, for this next part, we're gonna have a chance for folks to both pair up and to talk in fours, and that works in heart rate, and then we'll actually do a big report out. So one of the things you're gonna see is that, right, often in these things, what you wanna do is collect a lot of information, sort of do a whole big divergence thing where you collect a lot before you all start to converge on what you do. And we're not gonna do a ton of convergence for today, and that's in part because you haven't heard the survey from the larger group. But you will have a chance to kind of trade ideas, see what other people are thinking, and that is in part to see if what stands out for you is what's standing out for other people. But it's also because for some people, it kind of takes talking things through to figure out what they actually think. I happen to be one of those people. For some people, it takes writing, and so we will gather information through both of those things. So we're gonna take the next 10 minutes. I'm gonna invite you to pair up with someone and sort of share what it is that's really standing out for you. We'll have a chance to do that in both cases. We'll pair up in twos, then you'll get your pair, we'll get together with another group. If we end up with small odd numbers, that's fine too, obviously. And then we're all gonna come together at the end to kind of hear what's standing out for folks. But I won't invite you to do that part yet. So for the next 10 minutes, pair up and talk about what's standing out for you. That's gonna be about 5 minutes. Sound good?
Can I make a suggestion? Let's just do a 1, 2, 3, 4 count and kind of assign people that way. It gives an opportunity not to necessarily hang out with the people that you want to hang out with, but sort of force
Love it.
to to be with different people.
That sounds great. How many people do we have staff and?
What is it? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Where's Shabnam? Shabnam's there. That's 12.
Well, so count 1 through 6 and then start with that. We're gonna do
Why don't I start 1?
3.
4. Remember your number
6.
and start with 1 again.
Oh, 1.
2,
3,
4, 5, 6.
I'm 6.
Yes, now pair up with the person who has their finger.
1 is over here.
It'll take about 10 minutes to talk, about 5 minutes each. And give me a wave when your group is done, so I have a second on that. Great.
I'm stuck with you.
Would you like to go? Let's go over here, Bob.
All right. I can stand if you want to. How's this process?
All right, let's stop.
So what's the, for you on the community center?
I know.
I'm going, hospital community space. But there you go.
It's interior, but it could.
Great change. Flexibility.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
And then for me, circulation.
And I think that's.
Functionality, flexibility. For the whole.
Something.
And then there is. Appreciate it. Standpoint is a bit more healing.
Skating party, sledding party. Those have not gone.
Oh, they really love the look.
Haven't happened. Massive thing. Okay. Do you wanna?
So we really don't use it that much.
Didn't really look at the staff side of things.
Other residents.
Also, resident views, we see. I went all my, make sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so just. Addition. As opposed to wholesale. Change.
It's interesting how much people were.
Something I know about shared spaces.
Any other thoughts on?
And then. Village Hall. Shared space. Here. I've seen a lot of this.
So,
yeah. You know, do make your.
It's like, I wrote down.
Staff space.
Definitely in school.
So.
Sort of get it together, Village Hall. People should be focusing on things for concern, the decisions and concerns.
or.
Fair.
There's so many of them.
What about you? Appreciate
That was, there's no, really saying very little building. Here's them saying. Extraordinary accommodations.
And the elements,
Little things.
Well, and I think, well, I put down, you see a location policy, we're all over this, and that resonated. So, no, I'm not. That's me. And it doesn't have something.
It's not the way I run it.
Yeah, I have that in my sort of conclusion parts. Yeah. No, that's okay. I mean.
Not, so I would say it's not here, but definitely makes sense there. As far as the build and that's beyond.
Residents, I think you're the center of this. Focus on staff.
No, you're wrong.
In time as well as space.
Yeah.
That's a small.
And everybody's.
That was really helpful for residents. And then, yes, interact.
They have built on.
So I just.
Balance emotional. You know, kitchen.
I think
that's the spot.
Has a way.
Deciding
And then I think also that's why. That one's good.
We guys had a chance to switch.
Oh, yeah.
We had a chance to switch if you guys are one of the.
Yeah. We're on box 3, is that okay? So that's. There's some. Yes. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
And make sure ours.
Sure, what's over.
Yeah.
So I said, the call.
Doing your fire doors and.
Yeah.
And
I don't know whether people have
training
a-
company design.
I really- I really much, yeah, this is what's really important.
Right.
I was like, yeah. I just wanted- I thought that was at a good part.
So you'll kind of a chance to discuss this, but also to hear what kinds of themes were emerging in other topics. So maybe we'll.
Yeah, Dave and I are ready.
Excellent.
And we've decided that he will be the voice of a lot of them.
I love
Because, and the reason is actually, I think he's got a fresh set of eyes of things. And folks have heard me talk time and time again. But sort of respect
I love
it.
it. All right, well.
Dave's there before.
Why would be a name group then?
Okay, well, we're not.
Yeah. Oh, we're not, yeah.
Very excited about it. He's very excited to pass the baton. Why don't we do the same thing? Why don't we count off, this time we're gonna count to three, and then count to three again, if you guys want to take us on.
We'll do one.
Three, and then one again back there. One,
Great.
why don't you get together in your group of four?
We're with them, yeah.
And I'll be very.
We go over there. So all lights come here.
You know, come to us maybe.
Traffic jam.
Yeah. It was kind of similar conversation, but
Yeah.
Well, folks, what did you guys?
So we'll see if we need more.
So now we're just gonna talk about,
You should just do the.
No, we actually went all five.
Yes, you were just starting to get into.
So I'm not
Why don't we just-
all I would do was tell them, here's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of jump into the premium here.
Yeah.
I hear what you want to say.
I guess we have me, but me, well, yeah, first, so first you talked about functionalities. Abilities, cosmetic, noticeable,
Seems like.
And I think like looking at this, I saw one guy was a. But I'm white. All right, whatever. That's what I got. Three of those sticks versus what's like.
Yeah, then that's kind of the thing.
More commercial and then.
Those
Those were the kind of things, but I think the biggest things were just satisfaction. Residents. Yeah. Quite a- I think that's like the. Everybody just wants to. We don't, we can't do what we used to get there. Feel comfortable with that. Really, just didn't think about it all, just not what they're doing. Oh, kind of.
No, I would agree that that gives you the support right after the water.
All this stuff feels like.
Dave and I are not ways of formulating the information, actually relying on it. The community said, it appears that there's like desires, all those things. What I understood, a lot of it, the location development, not immaterial, but it is less. At Hanoi Shore.
Another location.
They don't want this to be a first, but it's like, now this is my aspect, which is, we actually have a community. For example, that is not.
It's seen a lot of. I mean, a lot of, questions more about the stand area, all
Maybe short of what the rules on the additional help from why there is some special. That's just my opinion.
No one really sees that.
I was actually.
It's not seen.
Surprisingly, the idea that we could transition that interior space and then plug the exterior itself. Park area. That was kind of interesting, and that's something.
Accessible.
Yeah.
And like.
Yeah. Renovated the bills. That's happening. So I'm making it kind of fun of it.
We're here, it's Village Hall, right? That is, very, function like geographic, but also clients, right? Actually navigate
If we know.
and that, the thing that's kind of here is the hours. Village Hall.
Yeah, so cool.
How do you get here? Close, so there's no comment about extending hours. Or not gonna have to try, but like, it includes that time.
Almost, and we were mostly about how to be on the rings.
Exactly, that was the 7. Since we're, you know, I thought, well, yeah, accessible rent was as multi, open space, and stuff, let's say, I didn't hear anybody on the space. Multi.
Yeah, that's one workshop.
More. I wrote, you know, but I don't need much like Monday or Tuesdays, it goes 7 or, yeah. It was just locations good, something exactly, not here and one that. It's fine. I like that, that's it.
Well, I know that.
Really no. A lot of people. Update in there.
I think that was it minimalist? It's more of an upgrade.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, having.
I mean.
That kind of.
Yeah, those points.
We are only one name now. Smart about it. Like, I just want to. Here's a team that we just really. You know, like, I think, like, I was.
Obviously.
How do you frame each one? How old is the actual organization or building? How is it here? How is it gonna be a great exercise in a year? Stuff like that.
You know, is there? Do that once a year, that really. Years, like, how do we think about?
Ignore what I said.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's a valid point, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're like squeezing in the truck.
Down the line, trying to get things like that. People kept writing comedy and design, which I didn't find helpful.
Well, it seems to me that.
You and I are lying, except that.
Priorities.
General support.
Figure out priorities for half.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think we actually have both.
No, I've never figured it out.
People really like the location. And then when there was one comment. I think that's like
When.
it definitely does have the.
We're in the other building all year long.
That's a little. But yeah, I think that was a part of what is successful.
Not saying ignore the or community center, but.
What about kind of waste? I looked down, the functional phrase.
Yeah.
And I wrote in this service. Energy efficiency. We don't have to do.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about that was like meetings, said like. I think.
And I really think
That's kind of
community center can go
the first goal.
Yeah. So, I think what's that mean going forward? That's what we need for now.
Obviously,
Right.
More than that, it was the feel, you would feel like it's really modern.
I think that's all part of it.
And it reaffirmed what I said.
That made me good.
Actually been rented.
Last week in front. Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Like,
good.
other stuff.
We have to follow it.
I think they're on what's good.
Last weekend was. Perfect. Yeah, they went as well.
Really, wider. Oh, I mean, I remember this one, you have to see it's over pressure to skip something. That's nice. That's all. Yeah, that's, I think, more is each other. That's how they were really busy when that.
Every other one should be on the work, you know, you need town hall PAs, or two towns.
Permutation.
The other one, that's for more than this kind of stuff.
We have to, overlook.
Standing.
Absolutely.
You can say, now you guys have.
Use like that. Yes. Well, I usually.
Deegan.
I'm always happy to. And I'm always thrilled.
Well, I think with the.
You're across all the time.
Big word.
Yeah.
That's
really
So it's more like.
Yeah. I wrote down do what is necessary, but we're done, but at the same time with that. When I say. I want to say do what's necessary. Making sure it's quality. So it's not just the bare minimum.
Please write left way.
That is very helpful.
There's one thing.
Staff.
Okay. And I will collect these. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the balance of-
Okay, but I was, because then you see village hall. And then we're gonna come back together to learn. Kind of
And then the satisfaction of
Yeah, I know it's.
how.
So, take another couple minutes to wrap up, need it, and then I will invite everyone to look. Right, what is one thing you're taking away from our together today? Right, let's just like, use it, and then we'll come back together, so we're.
Office work for the folks who.
Right. No, I think you've all had a chance to do this, but if you haven't, there was sometimes their response to that final question, that was one thing you were told today. And then we'll come back together. Please write legislation.
I'm gonna tell one thing that's on, I say one thing that's off.
Like, okay, not so basic that it's nothing. It's not
Yeah.
gonna play easy though. Make it nice.
That's a good summation.
But I also, you know, talking to my husband. And here, we're both very confused by the dollar signs. It just doesn't seem. I think somebody will kind of get more. Votes. To see, we just talking to one or two that overpriced because they're used to working with municipalities. And we get some more numbers, the dollar signs don't sound correct.
Yeah. And that's also now.
When folks have had a chance to respond to that final question, I would say, come on up here, you can bring your chair or you can stand and we'll get to one big circle. Maybe around the tables. The pastries a little bit low.
You're really pushing the pastry.
I know. Have a couple of pastries.
Oh, I have one.
Yeah.
One, well, there's still one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pastry with pastry.
Somehow there's no first receipts and any of it was new.
They're out there and we're not.
Yeah, I just. Because that's on your product, it's just like. How you doing? Some product. That. One of those. It obviously.
Where's that?
Yeah,
Gap, baby gap.
Baby
gap.
One response is,
My sister was that. Yeah. Yes, for a while. Sure. I was.
Or you're just-
It's like, I'm regularly picking up food. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
And done.
This is, we're gonna have an opportunity now to sort of go around and share that what is one thing that's standing out for you. And we can do a second, if we feel like that's helpful to just sort of respond. We're not gonna do it kind of sort of crosstalk or making decisions today, right? Because our goal today is primarily together, we want to do a little bit of convergence, but I also want to give you the opportunity to really digest what you're hearing today and to hear what's gonna come back to you on that larger survey. I have also heard some concerns that not everyone in the community gets those mystery mixel messages. So that may be something else that you want to be thoughtful about with the surveys, that it is also a chance, from folks who for whatever reason aren't getting those messages. Or just, it was negative 800 degrees out there today, so for us. Oh. Why don't we start there? You can either read what you put in that last thing, right? What's one thing that you're really taking away from today? You are also free to sort of pass with dignity, and we will come back to you. And I will say for staff, if you don't feel comfortable talking aloud as well, that's also okay. For trustees, I'm probably not gonna give you that. So, all right. You're just a guy.
It's clearly, it's not made for sitting today, evidently. I think what the charge is, what you asked, is what was the general takeaway? An overarching view of this.
It doesn't have to be, it could just be one thing that stands out to you, but yes.
Sure, but I'm gonna look at it that way. So I guess I'm
Absolutely.
qualifying.
Yes.
And that's really that there's a general support to improve facilities, but not overhaul and drastically change them. So overhaul facilities in their existing state. And there are different needs, different wants, but that is the general support. And that's my main takeaway.
I will also ask you to please make sure that you are capturing this on your documents, because I am not taking notes right now, and I do have to capture the original. So, okay, thank you.
I agree with Dietmar in that, DPW, it was like electrical system was put out and basic needs for other buildings. Nobody's asking for drastic changes. But I just thought there's a page for community center, and there's a page for Village Hall, and there's a page for 1008 Shore Boulevard. But the pool didn't have a page. Was that on design, on purpose? So we don't want to talk about the pool.
Well, we are going to, the pool building is being looked at to be either completely renovated or, and so that is going to be an ongoing conversation. We kicked that off with the full committee, and Dave is already taking a first look at what are some must-haves in that building. But we will be gathering specifically pool support, pool engagement, and
Yes, outside this
it was
conversation.
kind of intentional too, but I think if you have I have a thought that came out of somebody, we would love to hear that.
Oh, no, just that the comments of basic renovations was for the buildings that were labeled today.
Yeah, I guess the one takeaway that I had was that this was overall good first step engaging, like where the community support lays, and I think that would be a beneficial first step in whatever decision the board ends up making.
Guess my brief message would be get stuff done. We've been studying this for years. And I think it's now time to move a little bit away from study and to focus on priorities with realistic timeframes. So there are some projects that we have, the pool is a good example, but it's going to take a lot of study. We've seen that through the Hayden House planning process. Even relatively modest changes can take a lot of community input and time. And so I think it's going to be important to establish
priorities of things that can actually get accomplished in a relatively short period of time, which there is not a lot of need for additional study or community input, while at the same time designing and engaging in a process to study those projects. This is the community center, the pool, that have much longer time frames in order to take into account where the community is at and the complexity of the projects.
And Mark, just to confirm, that is not what you saw in the resident feedback, or maybe it is, that's also your thoughts on what we might do with the feedback we got today. Just want to make sure I'm hearing. I think that was a fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think people really like the walkability of the layout of things, so I think that was just something really important to consider going forward with where things are laid out, is people really like that stuff is accessible or kind of follows a pattern of how it's laid out. Other takeaway I wrote down then was just, you know, there was a lot of amenities mentioned, and I think it's really important finding the sweet spot of all those amenities for both the village residents and having amenities in all the facilities that they really appreciate, and then amenities that are also useful to the staff, and make the facilities feel really complete.
And mine is kind of seizing on that same point, balance the wishes of the residents with some of the identified staff priorities. The one interesting other bit would be the relative split in opinions on the location or the best location of the community center going forward. So I think we're going to have a serious conversation away where the right placement of that is with the corresponding listed needs and wants from what we get today.
I think it'll be interesting to see if the survey results we got here sort of, if you want.
I don't know. I wrote decisions should align with who we are as a village.
Me? Okay. So yeah, I guess I was, kind of on the community center too, surprised that it was roughly 50-50 of where residents thought it should go. I think, like Brian said, that needs to be one of the first decisions, because that's really gonna dictate what we do with these other buildings. If the community center is gonna move to the old fire station, it's a waste of space then at the pool building, so then I think you're talking to tear down and a new pool building. But if it's gonna stay there, I think we can modernize everything and bring it up to standards. All buildings should be brought up to modern standards, in my opinion. And yeah, I guess, yeah, that's all I need.
I think we're gonna go around and hear from everyone, and let's go to process question.
Yes, certainly, because I don't think that this is geared towards point and counterpoint tones, but I'd like to pick up on that theme perhaps in the next chapter.
Oh, that sounds good. All right. It plus one to what Dietmar started with, but the other thing I would add is on the location for community center. I enjoy when someone rejects the premise of the question, do we want it in, location A or location B? I think what this might be suggesting is you might need a little bit in both locations. So one thought is, taking some of the resident input in is like, do we need a small, room at the pool for pool related community functions like a kid's pizza party? And do we want a broader community space at 1008? So I think that was just an interesting, maybe we're thinking about it, it's not A or B, it's both. And the need for investment in community, I think community spaces here was very apparent to me as I looked around and some of these open-ended questions over here. And so just really thinking about investing in our community. And I would call it that the pool was a highlighted spot on this map. I have one process thing too. I think there's no comments over here. I think residents really enjoyed the atmosphere set today and the casual nature to talk to and engage trustees. And so I think we should all think about that. How do we maybe not replicate this exactly, but think about, if we're doing quarterly town halls, do every other one take on more of a format like this to more casually get staff
and trustees in front of residents to have a really collaborative conversation versus, you know, how the formats can go in board meetings.
Well, you stole my thunder.
Sorry.
That's what I was gonna say. I think that this forum has been really nice. It feels very neighborly to me. It feels like we can put out the board up there with people trying to make comments, which we can't discuss. And this feels a lot more community to me, and that I think that we should try to replicate this for some of these bigger issues that we're talking about. There's more frequent, than that.
Echoing exactly what Kate and Bob said, I found it very beneficial to have residents, staff, and trustee input all together. I think it was very good to have everyone come together and have that open, honest communication with each other. And to see that there is a need to do something, but to be smart about it financially.
Yeah, I not disagree with anything that anybody has said. I think we're pretty much on the same page. I noticed focus on efficient utilization of existing facilities, improved maintenance, and emphasizing functionality. But I think that the next nut that we need to crack, whether we want a two-story building and pool / community center, either now or in the future. Everything kind of, to me, kind of comes back to that. Got to figure that out, and then a lot of things fall into place there.
We will do one more go around, and here's what I'm gonna say. If there's either something that really stood out to you, that you just wanna expand on a little, or if there's something that hasn't been said that you feel is important, then I think we'll stop and and it's okay to pass, because I'm gonna.
Yeah, I don't want to grandstand, but what's so fascinating is, right, you can have two people in a room and you'll get 12 things on the same subject matter. So regarding the community center, I view it differently. And this ties back to the first question of sheep. I guess my observation is that folks have a desire for community space, a strong desire for community space. And that in some ways the location doesn't matter because it's equal opportunity, there's equal weight, and whether it's 1008 Shore Boulevard or Hoover. And I think that realization is important, because what's not being considered, and this is my advert to all this, we have a community space. We have a community space at the Hayden House. It has bathrooms, ADA accessible, it has air conditioning, it has heating, and the accessibility of that, I guess I don't even know as a private citizen, how I could reserve time if I so choose to have community get together or something small in there. So that's maybe my greater point, that we have space that hasn't been activated, or maybe it is activated and I just don't know about it, but continue on with additional community space because it seems to be an important issue to our constituents. That's the last thing that I'll say.
Just one small comment, no AC there, but no big deal, but.
Oh gosh, really? I must have been dreaming that.
Yeah.
Really.
Today,
That was my.
today there's a lot of things. Great, and I will invite you
Poor kids would love it someday.
as we do those, right, please make sure that's on your sheet.
It is, yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
So, you know, I think Dietmar makes a very good point that the Hayden House can be used as a community space. It would be wonderful in used in the winter and summer. But if we were to have more community space, everybody's asking for an open box, space that could be used for a variety of different events. It's just 4 walls, and it could have a small kitchen, but that is not, it's not a $5 million project. It is such a basic need that you could have that space as a community center. It could be a functioning room for other purposes for the village. It sounds so easy, right? The needs of it, right?
Yeah, I guess everything that had crossed my mind about today has already been said.
There's a couple of things. I think one is relative absence of parking associated with the community center space. Nobody really mentioned the issues. We kind of had an equal number of people between 10:08 and the pool location, but one has ample parking at least 9 months of the year, one does not. And it didn't seem to rise to the level of people's concern about that space. So that was one thing that concerned me. The other was that we've just gone through this whole facilities project. And I think there was a lot of emphasis on that project, on the space for the staff, especially efficiency, safety of the staff and so on. And I thought that seemed to be a little bit overshadowed by the community center conversation. And that surprised me a little bit given the importance and its prominence in the prior facilities discussion.
Mark just said what I was gonna say, parking at the community center.
I just took a couple other thoughts. I mean, for me, one of my impressions was this is about doing basics well and doing it first. It's first things first here. To Kate and Bob's point, earning trust through process. This has been a really good process. So we should find ways to replicate it. Obviously, we want to do this in a smart way and make these fiscally responsible decisions together. And I think this is about building facilities that reflect our shared values, not just immediate pressure. There's an opportunity here to still do it right. And anxious for us to do that with.
I guess I just want to make sure I'm advocating for myself and all staff. That we're not forgetting about staff. Just remind people, I'm not against investing in the pool. I know it's a great amenity, but it is a 3-month-a-year thing. So to stick 90% of our money towards that is hard for me to swallow. If we're gonna ignore the other buildings, if we can somehow find a way to do something to all buildings, great, but just don't forget about staff and our buildings and our needs.
I just have 2 process things and what we've been talking about. So one of the great benefits of this, a forum like this, as you highlighted, right, is the chance to talk less formally, the chance to have details, right? In a forum like this, time is not a pot. Every time one person is speaking, it doesn't mean less time for someone else, right? There's the chance to have multiple, right? Everyone could be talking for the entire time, and that's a really lovely thing. What you miss out on is the chance for everyone to hear the same thing. And so that's always something you're going to want to be thinking about. But for the staff, I also think it's important to understand that in the planning context, and Mark, to your comments as well, is the general consensus among the trustees who helped plan this, and Brian, was that a great job had been done on the planning, that it was fairly clear what staff were looking for and wanted from this, and that we weren't really looking for residents to weigh in on the specific details of staff. That what we wanted to hear from them was just the, hey, heads up, here's what we're planning to do. It's important to us. If there's anything about what we've prioritized or these specific projects that you particularly like, or that raises a red flag for you, we at least want to know about it now so we can respond. And I don't want the fact that it wasn't a big highlight here to reflect, like, it was very clear to me that that was a priority and important to the trustees and to the administrator, and that it was mostly not here because we were not interested in having residents be like, I think those lockers should be 4x6 and not 3x5, and let me hang up on the sketch lab. And I'm not suggesting that anyone would do that, but the idea is really that the staff were the experts on what they needed, and that what you were looking for from residents was more, right, does this sound in line with the priorities we identified? These are the upgrades that we believe would reflect those.
One other thing that I felt was really relevant, or that came out in every single question, was this, accessibility. And so I guess I think you can define that word in many different ways. And so one thing that was noted about Village Hall was location. So like geographic accessibility, ADA compliance. So can I physically get in buildings and use them? And then also, I think it was flagged over here, village operating hours, which is something I never thought about, and how Many residents, if they work 9 to 5, you know, it's really hard to come into the village hall. And so I thought just this as a general theme is something you want to think about as we move forward is how do we kind of, you know, make sure that all, you know, village staff amenities and community centers are accessible to everyone.
I would, like to reinforce the need to, like, whenever we talk about what the community wants, that it's about the residents and the staff. And I think that the staff is part of our community and very important part, and they largely occupy these facilities more than the residents do. And so, I would ask that whenever we talk about what a resident need is, that we, in the same breath, talk about what the staff needs are, or at least that consideration.
Yeah, nothing from me either, except to thank Allison for hitting all the right notes here today and organize and put on a great event.
Before I turn it over to Kate to close it out, thanks to the residents who stayed to the end. I love that. Please remember to complete your evaluation. You have a QR code on the little sheet that you were given at the beginning. But we'll also send out a link to that. It's just an evaluation of that. And thanks to all of you who've chosen public service, elected or appointed or whatever it is. It is noble work.
Yeah, basically, I know it is middle of December. We all probably have a million different things to do with friends and family. And so mostly I just wanted to say, you know, a huge thank you to Allison for leading us through the darkness here to come to today. To Brian for the extra work that you put in, and of course to Carol. You know, I thought, I think the intention of today was to turn the page on the facilities conversation and start going down a path that is collaborative, that is inclusive, and that can set us up for success as we get into 2026. So I know there were not decisions made today, but I hope you all feel that this was a step in the right direction. It was worth the time spent today. I know I had wonderful conversations with residents. I really loved the you know, atmosphere that we set today, and I hope that we can continue to set that kind of tone as we get into 2026. So really, it's just a big thank you to everyone, especially staff also that came out today. And I know you're working, you know, overtime hours. Really appreciate it. It was so necessary to have you here today, and I know a lot of residents spoke to me directly about that. And it was good to have real-time answers on so many different topics. So just really a huge thank you, and hope now we can all go enjoy some time with our families and our friends and stay warm. So I think that's it. Thank you.
I have one question, Kate. Are we having more discussion on facilities at our next board meeting?
Correct.
And what, could you kind of overview what the expectations are going to be at
Yeah.
that meeting?
So Tom Egan should be on the agenda. Yes. Is it on Tuesday? Yeah. So basically, yeah. So basically, great question, Bob. So on Tuesday, this conversation will continue in more of the board format. Tom's going to be presenting. So I think, you know, in our small group over here, Carol mentioned, you know, I think sometimes it feels like we haven't made progress in some of these things, but I actually think, I hope you feel this today, that I think we are starting to coalesce around a couple, you know, paths forward. Number one being, it sounds like there is alignment that we need to make some basic upgrades to this current building that we're in right now and at 1008. And so Tom's going to present some of those options to us. I would suggest to folks that that's kind of the outline that we're going to be, you know, working within, and that we're going to have to color that in, you know, over the next month or so, to really start to get to that RFP process. So I think one path is, guys, we have heard you over the last 3 years, and especially the last 6 months, and even today. We are going to make the updates. Here's a plan. Here's how we can start spending some of that facilities money that we've allocated to start literally, you know, Jan 1. So I think that's one path. Also identified today is the path of the communities piece. So that does take a little bit more time, totally agree. So we need to continue to flush that out. But I think in the immediate term, we can start moving on what are the updates to Village Hall? What are the basic updates we need to make to 1008 that don't need to get wound if we do add a community center in there. So I think that's one path. The second path will be this ongoing conversation around the community aspect. So it's like more to come on Tuesday, but I think the board, what I would advise is the board should start to move very quickly down the path of alignment on what are the upgrades, how are we going to spend the dollars on this building to make those modest, what were the terms you're using? I thought you had it so good. So, efficient.
Efficient utilization of existing facilities, improved maintenance, both emphasizing functionality.
Exactly, towards that path. So that's what I would say, and we'll have that conversation on Tuesday.
Was the meeting being noticed for possible decision? Or is it only discussion?
Decision is, hoped for in January. Yeah.
And if we're close to being done, we need a motion for adjournment. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Kate. All those in favor? You're adjourned.
Thank you.
You want, please?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Turn these into being, just make sure you have staff. Please make sure they stay, either staff or trustees. And if you haven't had a chance, please take, oh yeah. Carol, can I ask a favor? Will you run around and make sure everyone grabs what you are? Make sure that has the evaluation. Oh, okay. So.
We need to do the evaluation.
That'd be great. Yeah, you would love that. This is. I got run out. Yeah. First, Jesus, thanks, Jack.